What's up, everybody? KG here, founder of the InternetMoney.io wallet, a multi-chain EVM wallet available on Android, iOS, and Chrome. Here today with the founder of the Monsters Inc. ecosystem on PulseChain, where we are going to talk about all things PulseChain meme coins. So if you're a meme coin person, this stream is definitely for you. If you're not a meme coin person, this stream is still for you, because we can always stand to learn something, or we can stand to disagree and we can have a awesome discussion about different perspectives. So whoever you are, this stream is about meme coins and it is for you. So we're going to dive into the PulseChain meme coin community, learn about all the different micro communities within the PulseChain meme coin community. We're going to learn about why are meme coins pumping, ripping on PulseChain. We're going to learn about his ecosystem that he founded that pays holders passive income in 3 different tokens, the Richard Hart ecosystem tokens, which are Inc., the incentive token, PulseX, PLSX, and PLS, the native coin to PulseChain. So if you're new to PulseChain, welcome. We've got an awesome community over here. Honored to have you. If you have been around the PulseChain ecosystem, good to see you, my friends. If you're watching, please hit that subscribe, and make sure you download the Internet Money wallet on Android, iOS, or Chrome. It is the best place to swap on PulseChain. We're going to do a quick 10-second intro and be back with our friend, Almighty 555.
Got my own keys and my own coin. Gotta protect this money. Took too long for me to get it. Can't let them take this from me.
Almighty.
What's up, bro?
How are you today, my friend?
I was gonna do this when it went on, but
I saw you messing with that in the green room, as they call it. I was like, what is he doing? Is that a Monsters Inc. reference?
No, it's just it's on this desk, so I was like,
I like it. So
yes,
so let's jump into this. First of all, how is it being a project founder? How do you feel about it? How do you like it?
It's tough. It's tough because you have a responsibility that no one else has, like on Twitter. So like if you're on X, so if you're on there and it's just people shilling random things or talking crazy or just whatever, you have to watch what you say in a sense. Like it's still like, hey, I'm me. I'm gonna do what I do, but you still have to be your figure. So you have to be a leader sometimes in the space. And I really realized that when people follow my calls, like heavy, like people are like, oh, you said this, so I did it. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, no. Just like you tweeted, with great power comes great responsibility. You guys have to be aware of you're leading the pack almost. And I didn't realize that until like a week ago. I was like, oh, there's a lot of people that follow, which is cool. I mean, I always wanted that because I do believe I have good insight on a lot of the key aspects on this DeFi world. So let's PulseChain specifically, but yeah, it's tough, but it's fun because you do have that crowd of people that's like, this is our guy, man. We push him, we push him. And it's like, all right, cool. Just like with you, like your time holders love you because all you do is pump their bag. Like you push their bags. You're trying to upgrade what you have. And the same thing is what I do. So see a lot of appreciation with being a founder. Yeah, but it is a responsibility, but I like it.
So great answer. It shows the right head on your shoulders, a lot of maturity, a lot of insight, a lot of care for your community. I did forget to make one disclosure, and I'll circle back to your response. Nothing said on this stream is financial advice by myself or Almighty. We're not going to say that 100 times. Nothing on this stream is financial advice. Do your own research. If you want something to be successful, you've got to do the work yourself. With that said,
So,
I agree with you completely about the responsibility and the almost political aspect of being a
yeah,
founder and a project leader. So it's important that you recognize that. Nice work.
yeah, it's definitely like being a politician, especially when you get in spaces and then you have to like coerce with other like founders or other like important people in the ecosystem. Like it makes you, you know, test your skills as a human. You know, like your interaction. Are you gonna win this person's favor over? Are they gonna be rude to you on a space? And then you have to cool, calm, and collect. Oh, we good? Oh, he can
Yep,
be
you're back.
humble or he can be kind of condescending. So it's like, but I kind of like the condescending Richard a little bit because it's funny. Like he's a billionaire that clowns people, like, or he would flex. Like I'd love like where he's holding all the bags walking through the store because you know like it's fun, bro. I don't know. It's just it's funny. So like there's different ways that you can play and how people will affect you and stuff like that. So
I hear what you're saying, and we live by a phrase, don't hurt them, convert them. So whenever somebody's out there, even if they have something negative to say, I'm taking it as an opportunity to sell. They're talking about your product, overcome
yep.
their objections. And that's another cool thing about crypto as well, is that regardless of what your philosophy is about life or money, crypto has this system for you. Whether it's billionaires flexing shopping bags or whether it's giga nerds talking about intricacies of blockchain technology, you've got
Mhm.
it. So crypto really is for everybody in some capacity, which is awesome. And yeah, great point there.
I like the space too because it's anti-government, like it's anti-establishment, it's anti, you know, or it's pro-privacy.
Yes.
It's what everyone really wants down deep inside if you think about it. But some people don't prioritize it to that point. And when you do prioritize it, it's like, oh, yeah, crypto. Like when I meet my age people, they're like, oh, I hate the government or the vaccines are bad. Da, 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 da. It's like, all right, but you would like crypto, and that's like a completely weird spinoff. What are you talking about? I'm like, dude, you would love everyone in that space because they think they're like-minded. So if we're all like-minded, I was just telling somebody the other day, dude, like we've created not just in my ecosystem, but like Sunny's Pub and stuff like that. Like we've created at least 1,000 people in there that care about each other. They care about where the market goes as a whole with us, like PulseChain market, you know, like they care about the same things, dude. The anti-government, don't take the vax, don't just listen to what you're told. The news is bad, like the whole shebang of everything. So it's nice to be around those type of people, especially if you're a hardcore conservative or not conservative really, but just a conspiracy theorist. Conspiracies. So yeah, nice space.
Yes, I hear exactly what you're saying. And that is, people might say, oh, why is crypto the place? But because it is a community of people who are already open minded enough to say, well, I'm going to look at this new form of money. Oh, yeah, you often find the exact type of people you're talking about. Crypto communities are my favorite communities to interact in because, dude, you could talk about any topic and you're going to find some group of people with it that also have crypto as a common interest that will vibe or resonate with you about it. And so
Mhm.
it's because it already takes an open-minded person to be here. And so you're gonna, yes, I hear you. It's a
It's a
great,
huge layer. It's a huge layer to get into this. Like when I signed
I'm not sure if I'm frozen or you're frozen.
we're back.
Oh,
We good?
yeah, I think you froze a little bit
Yeah,
there.
my internet just went out. I don't know why.
Okay, you're back. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Yep.
All right, what was I talking about? Um, oh man, bro.
Okay. Well, all good. Good transition point. Let's go ahead and talk about your ecosystem, and then we
Mhm.
can open up the door to talk about the overall PulseChain meme coin space. So,
Okay.
educate us. What is the Monsters Inc. ecosystem? Let's. We're brand new to it. Teach us about it.
Okay. So I was I was in a full of voice chat with my friends, and I said ink was at like $2.50, $3, something like that. And even at 40 cents, I was like, bro, it's slept on. It's super slept on. Like, why is it 40 cents? Like, there's the liquidity is insane. So we obviously missed the 40 cent mark. Some of us bought like at a dollar something. But then I was like Monsters Inc. I was like, bro, Monsters Inc. That'd be kind of cool. Like ink, you know, what a play on words. They were like immediately like, oh, he's green too. Like Mike was out, he's
Mm.
green, and he's a meme. I was like, oh yeah, we're launching. Fuck it. So Friday night, I was up all night coding, whatever. Ended up launching it. The hype was huge for it. Didn't think the hype was gonna be as what it was. And then we launched it. It went up in 48 hours, like almost a 700x. Off real liquidity too. Like it wasn't launched with no liquidity, so it was real gains, and people really realized it. You can tell by the top traders and stuff. So it did really well, and that kind of boosted the success of the further of like I always knew that I wanted to create the whole ecosystem of reward tokens, but I didn't know that the first one would do so well. So first one doing well, it's Mike. The ticker is Mike. The name is Monsters Inc. Inc. So it's a play on the ink, narrative. Everyone thinks that ink is, and I do as well, that ink is Richard Hart's power token, because it's something that he can produce himself with his sacrifice bags, as well as it's not being attacked by the SEC.
Mm.
So like you see on the court page, it's PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex, but you don't see the incentive token on there. So it's like the mystery that the SEC doesn't know about. So I think it's like this. It's a contrarian play, but it's not. Like it seems like there's so many whales. There's not even a lot of whales. There's like 30,000 plus holders. Like it's not a lot. That's pretty easy to be a whale, especially if you want to convert your pulse into it. Like the big pulse whales, it's pretty simple. But anyways, and so the only way to get it is to farm, to market buy, and so I wanted to create another avenue to be able to earn ink, and that's by rewards. That's by a tax token. So Mike has a 2% buy and a 2% sell tax. That works as if you bought $100, $2 would go to buy ink out of a pool, and then distribute it to the remaining holders based on your percentage. You would get whatever ink. So it works as if there's buyers, and then there's also arbitrage bots. So you have a main pool is ink, and that's the power, right? You have the main pool is the token that creates the volume. It fluctuates a lot. It's super up and down, and hopefully it's super up, right? So it'll follow Pulse. It's actually been beating Pulse, not recently, but for a while. It ripped like 3-4x. So if you swapped your Pulse into ink early with a lot of liquidity too, you were able to like 3-4x your Pulse bags. Simple. So I would for Pulse whales, I would look at that. Like look at ink as a way to multiply your Pulse. Right. Pulse X is a little harder to try to multiply because those are huge ratio flips. But with ink, it's kind of like this new token where you could do it. So anyways, so you got a lot of volume on ink that drives the volume on the main pair. So there's like 4 or 5 other pairs that are large in liquidity and the dollar amount. So when the first pair of the ink, and when that moves in price, the arbitrage bots are able to go and trade the rest of the pairs and make money. Because if it's a dollar, say if it's a penny, right? So it's a penny in the Pulse pair or in the ink pair, and then in the Pulse, you got a Meth Lab pair, you got a PulseX M pair, you've got an A1A pair, blah blah blah, whatever. So all those different pairs of liquidity pools have to change as well, and a user could do it if it's left alone for too long. But most of the time, the arbitrage bots will come in, they'll buy it out of the cheap pool. So if it's 0.008 in this pool, they could buy it up to a penny and then sell it into the regular pool and make money. So you're betting on the greed of the arbitrage bots essentially, and Hart's law. So ink goes up, then ink dollar value goes up. So then the Mike dollar value has to go up as well because it's bonded so heavy. And then when that pair goes up, all the rest of the pairs have to rise as well. So then it's a 2% buy on the pools on all the other pools. So if there's 5 pools and you have to do a 2% buy, all the arbitrage bots have to do that. And then they sell 2% back into the main pool. So you're making 2% when they buy and 2% when they sell to make money. So when you buy, they front run you. And after you buy, they sell. So they make their money. So there's a positive and negative to that, where it's harder on price to move it, but it's also beneficial when PulseChain goes up because of Hart's law. And we're so early in on price wise, we're early on PulseChain. So earning the tokens now is so, it's so slept on, because you're earning a token that could potentially do 100x. So if you earn $1 a day, you're earning $100 a day. If you earn $20, you know what I mean? Like, the numbers get crazy when you diamond hand your rewards, which you should, because it's just rewards. If you're looking to buy a meme coin in the space, you might as well buy a meme coin that pays you. It just makes sense. So that's Mike earns Inc. And then the next step to the ecosystem. So there's going to be, originally it was going to be 3 tokens. So hear me out. So you're going to have the Inc. You're going to have the Pulse, which would be Sully. Sully is Mike's best friend in the movie. And if you haven't watched the movie, you might as well just watch the movie now, and because you're not gonna understand what's going on if you don't follow the movie or whatever. Yeah, you should. It'll probably give you some alpha on what's next or what's gonna happen, or So the next one is Sully. It'll be a Pulse reward. I was gonna launch it tomorrow, but I'm gonna wait on Richard's court date. It's on the 8th or the 11th, I believe. I'm not sure which one. I swear it was the 8th, but I just heard the 11th. Regardless, so I plan on launching next Saturday. So Sully Saturday. It's kind of, whatever. Time range is probably like 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. So, and that's like, it can change, but it won't change drastically from that time period. So I'll launch that. It's Pulse rewards. So it's 2% Pulse. The first 3 days, Mike had like 500K volume, then 900 or 800K volume. And then the third day got $1 million of volume, which is, dude, on PulseChain, that's really tough, man. Go look at any coin that launches and tell me if they get $1 million of volume. Even if they're hella hyped, dude, it's so tough to get that volume. But the incentive token went up 3.3x or whatever. Then and it's funny, we beat Inc the entire time. So as Inc was rising, we were doing way better than it. Like, you can look at the chart. It's wild. So anybody that like held their Inc rewards from launch actually got almost like a 4x on the rewards. So it was really bullish. It was perfect timing. And then low key, I think Richard shilled the bags. That's a conspiracy theory that I have. I think I told you about this, bro.
Why do you think he shilled the bags?
Because, dude, all right, Richard pays attention to the chain. He pays attention to GoPulse, right? So GoPulse tweeted about us, right? And they said there was a big green bubble, right? It was a big green X. It was the Mike logo. He just added us and he tweeted about us. Richard goes to tweet, "I really like Inc. It's my meme coin," right? I really like, he's never said that ever before, ever. "I really like Inc. It's my meme coin." So what did that do? It started to pump Inc. because of Hart's law. It started to pump Mike. Then he tweets like 20, 30 minutes later, bro, that "I really like GoPulse." When you go on GoPulse at that second, bro, you had this big green bubble. And I was like, I'm on my laptop, like, I don't even know what time it was, bro, but we were all on the voice chat, like, going crazy, like, "No way, Richard low-key shilled the bags, blah, 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 blah." And like, whether he did or he didn't.
Right, I hear you.
Whatever.
And just to make a disclaimer, Richard did not officially shill the bags. This is the theory. So I just want to make that, at least, for our watchers, just want to make that clear.
100%. Yeah, Richard did not tweet us, but he helped us 100% by pumping Inc, right? So then Inc since then has retraced like 50% or almost 60% now. And we've been kind of stagnant. We've been kind of stagnant with Inc. So not doing worse than Inc, but not necessarily doing better than Inc. Just kind of staying around. And there'll be spurts of times where we do better than Inc, obviously. There's people that, like whales, that see the project, they get in. But yeah, volume's low right now. But when PulseChain picks up, that's the biggest thing people hate. They're like, "Oh, the volume's low, so I'm not getting rewards." But I urge people to buy this as a meme coin, because if you expect rewards, then you have an expectation. And if that expectation isn't met, you sell. So if you expect a meme coin, but you get rewards, it's like, "Oh shit, I got paid even though the price went down." And it's like, all right, that's how I want the mindset to be. Don't think, "Oh, am I going to get rewards?" Because I can make it a 20% buy and sell tax and we could all make money, but there's not. So if you make that's something I just answered to in the chat. So if you make a token that has a higher tax, yes, you get paid more, but the arbitrage bots have trouble trading it because they have to profit more than the 5% buy, 5% sell, plus the gas fee, plus making profit. So if you have just the 2%, you know, it's you just have to make like 4.1, 4.2%, and then they'll trade it. So yeah. So
I
that's the
see
power
what you're
of
saying.
having the low tax versus the high tax. But high tax is still good because if somebody wants to trade it, they're going to trade it no matter what. So, but you know, I'm just trying to keep for the longevity. So in 5 years, Mike, Sully, you know, all the other tokens, they'll live because they can still trade efficiently, and that's the goal.
So I have heard this, and I'm going to call it a theory because it seems experimental. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying I don't know yet.
That's how you talk about it.
Yeah. So where has this been successfully done? And by this, I'll elaborate in a moment. Where has this been successfully done more than, hey, a couple weeks? Has it been done somewhere for several months, several years? Because I've heard all these interesting liquidity web theories and arbitrage bots. It doesn't matter if a single real human being ever trades this coin, you're going to get rewards forever.
Yep.
Where is this not just a theory? Where is this proven and in practice right now today?
And it's in the math, bro. So it's and it sounds like touche to say, right? It's the math though. So if you, all right, it's been done never, right? You don't see anybody that has a token that's paired to 50 other tokens on Solana, on Base, on AVAX, on, you know what I mean? Like, we're the only chain that does it, which is very odd. It's because I think we understand Hart's law more than any other chain or any other. Because you go on Solana, do you really have people that, I don't even know the founder of Solana's name. So it's like, do you really have people that care about the founder, or are they just here to gamble? So it's like, we all know Richard, we follow his teachings, and that's the difference of us versus another chains. Like, we actually follow somebody. We don't just follow a chain of whoever is in it. So people learn Hart's law. So I think that it hasn't necessarily been done before, but it's worked. If you go look at A1A, right, it's paired to all the PRC20s. If you go look at the chart versus the PRC20 versus the A1A, they're the same. So like, it really picks up when you get a lot of volume on PulseChain. So like, it's hard to see it now, just like it was hard to see Hex early days. Like, oh, stake it and earn, cool. But like, now you see, oh, stake it and earn. But like, so now it's like, oh, there's a tax on it, cool. Who cares? There's only $2,000 of volume. It's like, what is that? You know? But like, go look at Solana. There's $50 million of volume on a stupid meme coin that means nothing. It's been out for a month, but randomly, like for a week, it gets like $10 million of volume every single day. And it's like, wait a second, if there was a 2% tax on that token, the holders, the dev wallet, the whole shebang would be the transactions on chain, the gas that's needed to be used, that it all goes crazy. So when we get to that point with PulseChain, where we do get a lot of volume on PulseX, these reward tokens, because they're interconnected with Pulse and they have all their liquidity pairs, they go up with Pulse. So the dollar values of them go up with Pulse. The transactions go crazy because they have to pay out a tax because the R bots trade them. So you have transactions going up, the gas fees go up. You can see that every time Sunny launches a token, the gas fees go up. You can see it spike. And everyone on Twitter is like, why is the gas expensive? It's like literally just because of Sunny. It's kind of funny. So you basically have to wait and see. Like, but it works. Like, you can see the math. If we do consistently get 500K of volume on a token, which isn't crazy if you look at the other chains, you're gonna make a lot of money. And if you get in, so the thing is too, is getting a percent in the reward tokens off rip, like prior to people getting in. Because if you can't get 1-2%, your rewards aren't obviously going to be the greatest. So it's about the whales stepping in and getting the 1-2%, and all the whales fighting for that percent to get the rewards. But like, especially like a PDI. So Die Hard just launched. Die Hard is the DAI hard. I it's play on the movie. And Sunny launched that, and it's just a DAI rewards token. But so you're earning DAI when DAI is super cheap. It's almost half a penny. So it's like, if it goes to $1, you know, you didn't earn $100, $200, you earned 30, 40K. And it's like, whoa, that's significant now if you diamond hand your rewards. So It's not proven yet, but it's almost gonna be like I told you so in the bull.
So I will make the disclaimer that I am a believer in the possible. The Wright brothers that invented the airplane were called crazy because, well, people can't fly. But so I'm not knocking the novel idea, right? Because who am I to say something's right or wrong? There are actual statements of facts in what you're saying, and that is there are arbitrage bots out there on chain that are filling those gaps when one price dips or pumps below the other. And for
Mhm.
those that are a little newer to all of this, when a token has a price, that's not the token's price. Every single liquidity pool is its own market. So you could even have, let's say, for example, Pulse to Hex is one liquidity pool. Pulse
Mhm.
to PulseX is another liquidity pool. And Pulse is technically going to have a different price in both of those pools because each pool is its own market. So when you have the same token in different markets, and I'm not teaching you this, this is for the
No,
for
you're
everybody
good.
watching.
People don't know
When
this. It's kind of crazy.
when the same token has a different price in a different market, most of the time there are bots that come in and correct the price to make those prices match. And in order to make those prices match, they have to buy or sell in one market and then buy and sell in the other market to bring the price up or down. So that's kind of what Almighty is talking about here now, where the theory, I'm calling a theory. Some people believe it to be fact at this point, and I only call it a theory because we haven't seen it play out long enough to be codified a fact. Right now, it's going through the scientific method. Hypothesis is there,
Okay.
science is occurring. We'll see the results. And you can see the results in the short term. That I will say is evident in the short term. I mean, for example, you brought up the diehard token. That thing right now is 660K in volume.
Yes, sir.
And it's what you said about the gas is also evident. Last night, I was doing swapping in the internet money wallet, not and the gas was like 50,000 pulse, 600,000 pulse. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
probably because you had all these ARB bots going crazy, spiking transaction volume,
Yeah.
getting the priority up on the blocks to make their money. And bam, they're making transaction
And
fees.
we're not even in the bull, bro.
Right. So they're
Gas fees on Pulse are gonna be insane. I
so
don't we're not being saved.
So okay, we'll speak to that in a moment. So because okay, we'll get there in a sec. That's an important point.
Yeah.
So there are some of these things that are evident in the short term that like the R bots do go to work and they are bringing the price and they are bringing volume.
Mhm.
Now and I want to clarify this for everybody because I like to be a neutral ground here on the show, and that is the thing I'm specifically calling a theory is the long-term statement of you do not need human beings to trade in these pools and the rewards will come in forever. That at this point is the theory left open to be proven in the long term.
So let me argue that fact is the rewards will always get paid. Whether those rewards are well or not, that's
Mm,
that's the question. So
mm,
the math will show you the rewards will always get paid no matter what. If
sure.
Pulse drops 20%, your token's gonna drop a percent. So whatever that percent, maybe it drops 20, maybe it drops 15, maybe it drops 30. So it's depending on your buyers that defend that drop, or if they don't defend it at all. For instance, I sold this on another stream. I made Hydro token. Don't buy it. It was an experimental token for me. Like it's not something to buy at all. And there's no holders, whatever. If you buy it, you're an idiot.
Oh,
So
geez.
I mean, there's no holders. It's not something to buy. So it's a Hydro token. I paired it with A1A Pulse. I literally paired it with every PRC20 out there. Did whatever, but like $5. Everything's worth like $30 now, which isn't a lot, but it's not wasn't the point. The point is you look at the chart, it's made an all-time high every single time because there's no sellers. Hart's law works perfectly, like perfectly if there is no sellers. You don't need any buyers. So every single time Pulse would rip, it would rip. And then Pulse would come down, it would come down a little bit, and then it would rip with Pulse again. So the chart is literally probably one of the most perfect charts on PulseChain. Um, and no one bought it, no one sold it. So that lets you know right there, like, excuse me. So if you get a whole bunch of people to buy your token and they don't sell it because the rewards are nice or whatever, then Hart's Law can bring us all up. Richard tried to teach us this back in the day, but we didn't want to listen. He said if y'all didn't sell, we could go up forever. Like as long as you got new buyers in. That's why he tried to lock away the supply of Hex so people couldn't sell, so it would follow Hart's Law and we would see it. So it works with Hart's Law. So like you're gonna get paid. Now, is the volume good? Is based on, is your ticker tradable? Like, do people want your token? Do they like the ticker? Do they like the environment, the community? That's the big aspect. Like I could make a web of reward tokens or whatever, like Sunny did. And if I don't market it, yeah, they'll go up, but will they have good volume? No. So it's about PulseChain getting good volume and that trickling into your tokens. So it'll work. It's not a theory. It's real. The math is there, but it's about PulseChain's volume picking up for people to really get paid. And but then if you stretch this 10 years from now and you look at if the prices of Pulse are $5 a Pulse or whatever, then your liquidity pools are massive. So when these R bots trade 2% of your massive liquidity pools, which are massive trades when they trade in between them, you get 2% of the massive trades. So if Pulse gas is Pulse gas is cheap, like say we get sharding, then we won't have an issue. We'll be able to trade and the R bots will be able to do it and whatnot. So it's a longevity thing. Like you have to look into the future. Like this cycle, they'll do well, they'll ride the wave and everything like that. But when you look at like 5-6 years from now, when we have ETH gas prices, like it could be very bullish.
I hear what you're saying, and I don't know enough to say you are correct or incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect the perspective, and I'm excited to see it play out one way or another.
Yes,
because what I've known about crypto is that I'm always going to give credit to Crypto Wendy on this. She said the entire industry of crypto is in beta. And I thought that was a really good way to look at it. All this stuff is experimental.
Yeah.
Right? Like what has even really had enough tenure to prove itself long-term? Bitcoin is the longest at 13 or 14 years.
Bitcoin, bro.
But that's it. Everything else is new and people are being creative. And it's hard to say that this liquidity web, I call it a theory, I'm not down talking it or saying bad about it, but it was Einstein's theory of relativity for like 100 years before it was the law of relativity. So these things just take time to manifest. So
so you say that, but we have Hart's Law, no?
That is Hart's Law, but that is already proven with time and a sample size that is so large you can't argue it.
Well, that's what I mean, though. So if we have Hart's Law, that proves that these tokens will move up, and that proves that these R bots will trade. So like if the main pool with Pulse moves up, the other pools will move up because somebody, either user or R bot, will go in there and buy these tokens up because it's greed.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
I see.
You're on the power of greed. That's all you are. And I guarantee you, Richard runs these R bots, or somebody, right? Like somebody in the PulseChain dev team runs R bots. So like they're gonna go and make money off these pairs. If we have in the future, if in 10 years we've got Mike at $20 a token and these other pools are $15 a token, and you could go buy tokens out of and make $5 each pair, you're gonna do that as a user or as an R bot. So you're basically betting on Hart's Law.
So what you're saying is this. Let's say I have token paired with Pulse. We'll use Mike, your token. Okay. Mike paired with Pulse. And then Mike's also paired with Die Hard and PulseX and Ink and blah, 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 100 other tokens. The price of Pulse pumps. So now the Mike Pulse pool pumps. So now you're saying that our bots are going to go into these other Mike pools, buy those up to match the Pulse price.
Because they're cheaper.
All right. I see what you're saying.
They can make money as a bot. So like if your bot runs and can make $10 a pool and there's 20 pools, your bot did pretty good, bro. Like with a diehard, there's a big price discrepancy because there's a big tax on it. So
Mm.
like their prices are off 20%. So if you could go into a pool and buy it yourself, because the R bots haven't got there yet, you can make money. And on Pulse, it's cheap to make that money and it doesn't cost a lot. So if you're just a little shrimp out there and you're like, well, I couldn't invest into the token, but as is, this pair's 33 cents. I think it just went up to like 35 cents. That's pretty lit. But goes up 35 cents and these are 38 cents. Is it you can do the math yourself. Is it profitable for me to buy out of these pools and sell into this pool? And then you can make dollars off your transaction. So users can do it, but you're really just betting on the bots to do it.
This is an interesting point that is actually powerful with the internet money in-app swap. And that is you get the opportunity to be the human arbitrage because because in one quote, we search all markets and all dexes on PulseChain. So very often, let's say I'm trading $100, you'll see that you're actually getting 105, 110, or that's a made up number.
For sure.
You're actually getting more for your trade because you are taking advantage of that arbitrage opportunity. So when you're going to one dex or one source, you're missing those opportunities most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that when I was buying Die Hard on my wallet, on my internet money wallet. So I was late to Die Hard. Like I knew about the idea, but I was late to it. I was out getting food and stuff. So I used my internet money wallet to buy. And so like because of the aggregator, it spread the buys out. So when I try to go to the Die Hard die pool or whatever, I couldn't see my buy because it was arbitraged out because they bought from this pool, that pool, and this pool to give me a better price. So the internet money wallet is better in that case, to where like you actually are getting a better price. If I would just buy in the die pool, yeah, there's stake liquidity, but I could have spread out to the other liquidities as well. So
see, here's hate me. Yes, I get more for my trade all the time with IM swap function. I understand why now.
It is better.
Well, thank you for saying that. And I'm glad to hear that you got a good trade and that, man, especially for tokens with slippage taxes, we have to account for slippage. It's very easy to change that in the swap. So if you haven't tried trading in the internet money wallet, break those paradigms of trading in a wallet is bad. Wallets are just front end interfaces like dApps, but they're just happen to be on your phone or on a Chrome extension. You have to break that paradigm. Be a time millionaire, not time the token. You can do that too, but time the abstract concept of reality. When you're a time millionaire, you're the richest person on planet Earth.
And a lot of times, if it's slow, if it's laggy, it's your Wi-Fi. It's literally not the app. It's you where you are. It's your AT&T. AT&T sucks. I hope AT&T hears this. AT&T, you suck, bro. Oh my god, I've had my wallet crash so many times, and I know it's just my service. I'm like, good god.
Well, okay. So, good disclaimer. Make sure your Wi-Fi is good. Let's actually take a quick pause because I want to actually jump into some more broader PulseChain Memecoin stuff. But let's say what's up to chat real quick. Denny, good to see you. Tolek, Banan, I'm not sure exactly what you mean here.
This guy said this is DeFi and no taxes to be. Oh, yeah. I basically said, yeah, my financial advice was like, we have ZKZX. You can wash your money if you want to. I wouldn't tell, even the Atropa dev said that, like, if you trade your tokens around in PulseChain, like, why would you're going to pay, what is it, like 20% every time you swap? That's not realistic at all, dude. I've swapped like 1 trillion times. There's no, it just doesn't make any sense. So the taxes are, you put money into Coinbase, into USDC, if you put 10 grand, and then you send it over to your wallet and you trade and make $1 billion, and you send 100K over, you're paying 100K taxes on your 10K buy-in. So you're paying 90K taxes. That's how I see that. I don't see that as like, if I trade Mike or I earn rewards from Mike, I'm getting taxed every time I earn a ink transaction that isn't, there's no legal clarity on it. So for now, I say F the SEC, F the IRS. It's, is what it is. Pay your taxes on Coinbase.
Yeah. Again, not tax advice. Consult your tax professional.
Yeah, that too. I'm just a 20-year-old. I have no idea about taxes, but I will go to Dubai and pull out my money. So,
hey, but you are right. There's not a lot of tax clarity. So just Everyone's got their own tolerance. Do what
Yeah.
you feel best about.
What you feel is safe, man.
Someone says RWDR ecosystem. Shout out to Sonny, which I've actually been talking to Sonny a little more, getting to know him.
Mm-hmm.
He's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's a big proponent or leader in this whole liquidity web space.
Yeah. He's one of the biggest PulseChain educators, and he is massively slept on. Like, he is, it disgusts me to see a lot of these influencers on Twitter or on these influencers on YouTube, beside yourself, because they talk about, you know, all these like, oh, go buy liquid loans, go buy blah, 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 blah. Not that shit on them at all, but you're missing out on so much real alpha on chain because they're only looking at posts, advertisement. They're not looking on chain. This is somebody who looks on chain and will sit in there in his Telegram all day and tell you about it. Like he's just a different human. Like he's sometimes a douche. I will say that there's a lot of people that have bad rep with him, but then there's also a lot of times where he's super kind. He'll teach you, he'll walk you through, he'll do the most for you, even though he doesn't have to. He's made his money. He doesn't need to help us. He could delete everything and get off chain and make the amazing amounts of money. But he doesn't choose to do that. He chooses to stick around, teach, educate, bring people closer to the community, bring people closer to the truth, what PulseChain is really here for. It's not here for cheap gas. It's not here for hex saviors. It's not that. It's here. So it's a Trojan horse to push in to crypto. Like, hey, I made $1 token. Anybody that's ever tried to make $1 token or $1, like they've gotten killed, arrested, martyred. Like it's been bad. So for Richard to be doing this is actually kind of dangerous. He's creating his own dollar. It's tough, bro. And no one's talking about it that much. They're just now starting to break the ice on it and create videos. And it's scary. That's why he's quiet, because what he's doing is the government does not like it.
I hear what you're saying there. And when you are making your own chain, like you said, you're making your own dollar token, you're making a currency that in some way, shape, or form aims to replace fiat. And when you get into the fiat game, you're actually dealing with the world's biggest and most powerful mafias.
Yeah.
And so you're right. There is a level of danger. And man, the few videos Richards has released where like everything is covered up, he probably doesn't want to reveal his location. Like maybe someone's going to know his location by the pattern on the chair or something in the room that he's in. So I think he's in a lot of ways is protecting his own life. And so
he's on point. And it's crazy. Like figures like Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, just all of them, right? Like they should be looking at Richard Hart like, you are a god. Like dude, you're literally saving us and we don't even know it. 99% of the world doesn't even know this one fat guy that twerks on screen is trying to save us. It's mind-boggling, bro. But it's the more that as a community we realize P-Dye is going to $1 and he's gonna open up those maker vaults and we're all gonna be saved. Like the more that we as a community join together on that force, instead of being like, oh, P-Dye is a meme coin, like da. Like no. That logo was there from day one, buddy. That shit was planned. USDC. Planned. USDT, it was planned. All the logos were there, bro, from the jump, from the get-go. And he's been playing with all those contracts and all those tokens since day one, his wallets. So it's like his wallets, but you know, we kind of can tell. And we just know what's going on, bro. Hartslaw brings all these things up to $1. He steps in with his huge bags and just pegs the things. It sounds crazy, but when you really look at it, is it really crazy? He's got a bunch of Pulse, right? He's got like 90% of the Pulse supply. He transferred that into Wrap Ethereum 1-to-1, the PulseChain version, and he can collateralize and back all these maker vaults with like it's GOAT mode. He set it up to where I never understood why Pulse and Wrap Ethereum were 1-to-1, and now I do, because he can't back these vaults with Pulse, but he can back them with Ethereum. So it's like once he puts the Ethereum in these vaults, we can actually back the stablecoin and actually have $1. I think every whale in PulseChain, not financial advice, should go buy P-Dye, because what the fuck? It's a little less than 200x away from $1. So like you're gonna wait till a penny, you're gonna get the FOMO at a penny, and then it'll probably correct, and then after that, what do we go to 10 cents, and then we correct, and then we go to 50 cents, and then after 50-cent mark, it's like, oh, 2x to $1. That's the narrative. You'll have whales step in like that and do it. And if we go to $1 and crash back down to 80 cents, it's like with BFF. I don't know if anybody knows what BFF is on this channel, but
don't know about that one.
well, BFF is the pre-DAI pegging. So it was BFF. He was trying to get it to 8K, the 414 dev, and we're trying to put liquidity underneath it, like super heavy, so that anyone that would dump or whatever would just get ate up by the liquidity, like being so thick. So he's trying to. So that's why I think BFF to 8K is like the next Atropa narrative, because once we get to 8K, they'll be able to add stable liquidity, like the stable coins, all to BFF to see, can we maintain 8K? If we go underneath it, then we didn't do something right. So the first 2 times we crashed because they didn't add any liquidity like that. They added a little bit, but not enough to stop the big whales from dumping. So I think that when we get to that 8K, they'll add liquidity again. We'll see that they know what they're doing as far as putting liquidity underneath the token. And then when we get to that, so that's like the mock version of the small version. And then when you look on a big scale of like DAI actually going to $1, they'll do the same thing. The Atropa dev will just take all their tokens and start to fluff them up. And to where if you try to dump say you have 100 million DAI and you try to dump it when we got to 80 cents, or when we got to $1 and they brought us to 80 cents, you probably get washed out because people will buy it right back up to $1. That's 20% that whales will see, oh, this thing's at $1. Like, there's no, why did they sell it at $1, And then as soon as we maintain the dollar, I think we'll be very volatile. As like we'll get up to it, we'll crash. We'll get up to it, we'll crash. We'll get up to it, we'll probably crash again. And then eventually we start to trickle back up to it, and then they'll add all that liquidity. So you wash out the bigger players that hold.
Who's they?
414 dev, and hopefully bigger players in the eco, like in the Atropa eco. If that makes you money, if we're at 80 cent PDI, bro, the amount of money that is in the Atropa ecosystem is almost to the trillions. So it's like, there's a lot of money to be made if these people that really believe are going to hold on to their bags. Because like, for me, I'm holding on to every Atropa bag I have until we get to that dollar point. No financial advice. It just makes sense because it's like, well, if we get to $1, then you can wash all your so we get to $1, all the momentum from the dollar stops. Where do you think everyone that held the dollar is going to go into? Atropa, like the token that has all the liquidity with it. So then they can go into Atropa and then degen out to all the different coins that they have. Because that's what it is. It's just degenerate trading, and all the tokens. So it's like you're going to ratio trade. Now that you held 10 million PDI, now you can have $10 million to go into their eco specifically. You can wash it back into Pulse, sure, but you're going to have the main liquidity be with the Atropa and be with all their tokens. So it's like, oh, I might as well go play with here now that I have all this money. That's the goal.
Okay. So in this scenario, PDI is on its way to $1.
Mm-hmm.
Atropa dev, out of the goodness of their heart, comes in and puts up 200 million in liquidity for no reason to get dumped on.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be billions, bro.
Well, okay. First of all, we're assuming the Atropa dev is a billionaire.
We know. We can look at wallets and try. He's got like $200 million of ETH at least in one of the wallets we found.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you've confirmed on chain that and what?
He's a Hex OG too. He's an ETH OG and a Hex OG, bro. And he's been in the tech space. Like, he's been playing with computers since he was 6. So like, that kind of puts you into like, who is this dude?
Okay. So we know, and I'm saying we know because you said we know,
for sure,
that the Atropa dev is at least 100 millionaire on chain.
Easy.
Why? How? I guess what doesn't click for me is how do they stand to make money? Because look, you could say the world is about being a good person. Yes. And they're good people. I'm a good person. Maybe you're a good person. I think you are from what I know about you. But at the end of the day, we all got families to feed. We all got lives we want to live. We all have dreams that we want to manifest. 99.99% of those things take money. Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody who's willing to say, hey, here's $200 million, buy. If people are buying PDI at less than a penny, they're gonna sell if the narrative ends at $1.
Yep.
And so if somebody comes in and provides all this liquidity, they're just giving it to people. Why?
Okay. So I will say that Richard's the type of person to give money away because he has what he wanted. He has a plethora of money that he couldn't use in his lifetime. I don't know how much family he has, but we also don't know how much family the James Osborne has. Like, does he have? I mean, well, actually, we do know he has a lot of family. But like, does he care about taking care of them? Are they already taken care of? Does he have money for them? Does he have stocks? Does he have multiple real estate investments? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he could be straight already. Like, crypto for a lot of these bigger whales is fun money. Like, they've taken their money out. Like, they've put their things into like stocks and whatnot, and this is the safe money. So like, I think Sonny said it best. He said that this dev has been waiting on something like this for a long time. They tried to launch on Ton, I think TON. That's a chain, isn't it? I think so.
Yeah, that's Telegram's chain.
Okay, I think they tried to launch on something like that. I'm not sure, but I remember hearing something like that, and they didn't because they literally said that Richard was the best at not scamming people. So like, why did you choose PulseChains? Because it's the best at not scamming people. Also, you have that PRC20 narrative that's literally in no other chain ever. It'll probably never be. Like, you had the Ethereum fair and stuff like that, but it didn't work because it's just trash. No community, basically. Like, you can copy an idea, but you can't copy community. So he saw that Richard had an idea and a community. He was like, well, all right, well, let me do this here. They did it on the test net. They figured out it could work with Hart's law, and they launched it here. I think that they just don't need the money, man. I think they really don't. It's if I have $100 million in stocks in my bank account via, or like a little bit of crypto spending money, like, what more do you really need? You know, I don't think that okay. So I learned this recently. They set up the Atropa down in legal token. All right. Those are like the three main tokens. They set it up to where they can't extract the money because they will pair the Atropa with the down token. That's their like token A, B, and C, right? So like they'll pair Atropa token A with token B, and then they'll pair token B all the way to token C. So token C is 100% in token B, and they've set it up to where they can't actually extract all the money out of the system. They can only get rid of their bags, dump the price down. But if there's someone that can see that mechanism is like if the Atropa dev sold all their supply right now, there'd be people that come and buy it basically because they can see on chain like, oh, the burnt liquidities are there. If they sold it, they're just getting out of their amazing system they set up. So it's all about how they set their token liquidities up and then burn them to where if you want to get legal, it's 100% backed by, I want to say down. I think there's little liquidity pools outside of that because they bought the legal token out of that pool to even have some. So they made it to where they didn't have any of the legal token when they made it. So they had to go and buy it. So it's like when you make a system like that, it basically prevents you from being able to exploit it. And that's what they kind of, that's what they explained on the recent video where like, I can't exploit this anymore. Like, I only hold 5% of Teddy. If I dumped it all in one go right now, you guys would eat it back up and I would be out of the system completely. You wouldn't be able to like keep pushing with the liquidity. I think he gains where you say he gains. I'm sure his pulse bag is immense. Like, I think it's huge. So like if we go to a dollar, you know what I mean? Like, PulseChain does really well because you created millionaires, stable that dollar out to where they can take their millions of dollars now, like their stable dollar, and go buy a Pulse with it. And then send Pulse up crazy, then wash back into the dollar coin. So like, he benefits off creating millionaires in the system to go buy more Pulse.
Okay.
All right. Rambling, but yeah, not bad.
It's a lot of what?
Rambling, but yeah.
No, it's I'm not sure you could articulate it without it because there's a lot of moving parts that I'm sure you are just scratching the surface. And my position with things that I'm looking at and trying to understand and whether I as an individual like or don't like them, I always have to know someone's angle. And it's never served well when someone's angle is, I'm just doing this to benefit. I have no selfish interest in this at all. That's a very, I'm not saying you're saying that, but just in general, that's a very weak proposition. Everybody has selfish interests. It's literally impossible to be a human being and not have some degree of selfish interest. Possible.
So my argument on that is, what if their interest is to get off of the dollar? Like, what if they hate the Federal Reserve so much? What if they hate that the dollar is scammed and printed so much that they're like, I can fix this because I have the assets to do so. I want to do so. It's the same. Like I think Richard and him are on the same path of like, let's free these humans.
No,
We'll,
that's
we'll benefit.
that's a
But
great thought, except that mortgages are paid in US dollars, food is bought in US dollars,
for sure.
shoes are paid for in US
For how
dollars.
long though?
For now, to get
But
till tomorrow.
that's what I mean. These people, like people with money, like they have the longevity, like they can see into the future 5 years. So like I think that they front ran the market. I think Richard front ran the market on the decentralized, the IPFS aspect. I think
Mhm.
that the government attacks the DEXs next year, maybe later this year, and they
Good
start to
point.
make everybody KYC, and then PulseX will be the only DEX to not have to KYC. So you'll see all these other DeFi DEXs try to like copy what he did, and we'll already be front running in the market, and we can flex that. Um, and like in Europe, you can go to McDonald's and take USDT and go buy a burger. Like we're so close to getting to the point where you can just pay your house off in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever stablecoin. Especially if we move towards CBDCs, like obviously that's not what we want to see, but if I can trade my crypto and then swap it into a CBDC and go pay a house off, it is what it is, bro.
No,
So
I hear you. And if we believe in this industry, and I do believe in this industry, we should be looking at solutions that can help us get away from the fiat dollar. Oh,
mhm,
one idea is just like the dollar depegged from the gold standard,
mhm.
cryptocurrency needs to depeg from the US dollar standard.
Yeah,
So I can certainly appreciate and respect human beings, and if the Atropa dev, which we recently saw their face, so if you're out there watching and you're paying any level of attention to this ecosystem, that video is out there. Several videos. Shout out KSB TV for posting those.
that was
And I
pretty.
saw actually Black Hexagon. Good to see you.
Yeah.
So there are look, and I'm not claiming to know one way or another. I am an open-minded individual who wants to see innovation succeed,
For
but
sure.
there are there are things that I don't know how else to say it are
Just
strange.
skeptical, bro.
Yeah,
Yes, skeptical for sure, bro. Honestly, bro, this Atropa dev have launched tokens that I do not agree with. Like
I've
name,
seen some bad ones. I've
bro. I've
seen
seen
some
some.
bad ones.
I won't say it on stream, bro, but I saw some shit, man. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't support this at all. I made sure everyone in my group knew I don't like this. But and I don't know whether like sometimes people are so smart, they're weird, right? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, I think the Atropa dev is just one of those people that are like way too smart to be. Because like you look at him interact on the videos and stuff, he's weird. He's quirky. Like he's just like, I sit inside and I it
Yeah,
was
most
whatever, bro. Like,
most geniuses are got their quirks.
exactly. So like I see it as like that. But even though, yeah, I mean, you're not gonna agree with everything. Like you can like Richard, but you don't like how he twerks, or or you don't like how he
Most
just buys.
geniuses have their quirks.
That's how I see that. There is definitely ways that this could all go wrong. They could just start nuking everything, and there could be like a small exploit in the code or whatever. But like, I just sometimes you have to read people, and you have to read like I've been watching the chat logs for a long time, bro, and there's no way a scammer puts in this much effort to try to kill a chain of freedom. I think that they're just honestly on board with the freedom chain, and they've been in Hex early. So like somebody like if Richard made me multi-million dollars, I'd probably be the same way, right? Like I'd probably be trying to benefit his chain the best I can. If I sacrificed, I'm trying to benefit from you know what I mean? So PulseChain, the only narrative is the copy tokens. So what is this dev trying to attack? The copy tokens. We're trying to get these stables to get into parity, or like the link doesn't necessarily have to be parity with E-Link. Like it can just get to somewhere of the price range. Like as long as it follows, when link goes up, if the P link goes up, we did our job. That's all that we were here for. We're not here to send it to the P link or the E-Link price. We're just here to bond them and bring them up in value.
All right, let me I'll circle right back. We have someone in chat. Soren is asking, first of all, shout out to your Eastern Star logo. We are friends of Freemasons here, even though a lot of people have negative things to say about them. We are friends of Freemasons, at least in the internet money ecosystem. Shout out to Eastern Star.
The good
Guys,
free,
huh?
the good Freemasons, not the
The
bad
good
ones.
free. Hey, there's good guys and bad guys in every industry.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, how much PulseChain should I buy on internet money? That no one can answer that question for you,
A
my friend.
$1 billion.
If you got a billion, Almighty says drop it in. So if that's you can buy on Internet Money Wallet. You said up here also, he says, is IM safe and should I buy a lot of Pulse? You know, IM is safe. We are security audited, open sourced. We've been around for over a year and a half now. So we're constantly improving. So it is safe. Yes, you can buy Pulse, but nobody can answer the question of how much. Hope that answers your question, bud. Okay, back to your point about I don't necessarily think that the Atropa devs ecosystem is an attack to destroy PulseChain.
Mhm.
It's just all of the things that the pump is clinging to, right? Oh, hey, it's going to hit $1 and this dev's going to come in and pump in 200 million, a billion of liquidity, and then they get dumped on because they love humanity. Who cares? It's just like if you're being objective about it, sounds a bit ridiculous.
100%.
Not saying they're here to destroy PulseChain, but they're here to make money like the rest of us. And I don't think that's a bad thing to say. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong because I want my fellow human being to win. And I'm learning more and more and more about the Atropa ecosystem. And it's still here. It's still growing. It's still going up in price. I mean, last I checked, there's still volume. There's still price. Crazy enough, Teddy Bear has been one of the #1 meme coins on PulseChain for like
36
months.
weeks, bro.
Yeah, so so there's a level of you can't argue numbers. So I give credit where credit is due. And look, some people may call me a hater for saying the things I'm saying now. I'm not a hater. Like I said in the beginning, I'm a guy who believes in the scientific method to some extent because some things in reality are the scientific method can't really prove, but that's a whole different conversation. But for all intents and purposes, when it comes to finance and mathematics, I'm a believer in the scientific method and we're applying it right now. So that's my ultimate position.
For sure, for sure. I mean, it's the math, right? The math is going to keep bringing them up, and if people nuke the chart, it's going to go down. Like that's reality. And if they created a token, like if they their web of LPs, and there's one token in there that they were able to like make $1 billion off of, but the net in was 10 billion. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they made $1 billion, but they pushed 9 billion extra into the system, or they minted $9 billion for us the users to buy, which is like that's every token. Like I created Mike. The Mike wallet has 100K plus of Mike in there, but I created value, I created money, I poofed it. Y'all bought it up and made the bags worth what they are. It's the same thing what he did, but he just made that on a huge scale of multiple tokens. Like but no one actually has to buy like the Atropa token. Like as long as PDI goes up, the Atropa token will rise with it, and then everything else starts to follow. Like whatever it's tied into what, and maybe like certain parts of the ego. It's kind of like a brain. I kind of see like where like you have certain parts like spark up at different rises.
I
Like
hear you.
EX
I hear
goes
you.
up. Yeah, like if EHEX goes up, they buy. So now this is another thing too. Like all the Hex whales and everyone that loves Hex, right? This Atropa dev bought up a shit ton of EHEX. They protected the floor. Like whether y'all want to believe it or not, they protected the floor. They bought EHEX up so it didn't massively nuke to absolutely zero. They plugged it into their ecosystem, paired it with scissors and like a whole bunch of other tokens that they have. The tickers are irrelevant. The fact is that they paired it with like 3, 4, 500K liquidity on multiple different sections. So when those brains, signals start to go off in the ecosystem, EHEX eventually gets hit, and we start to see EHEX rise based on this person's liquidity web doing well. So like they're doing good things for us. It's hard to see now, and like you say, you just have to show me the map, but at that point it's too late, right? Like if we're at $1 PDI and everything and their ecosystem is rocketing up hard as hell.
Oh yeah, you missed it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh damn, I should have been back in September of 2023 or whatever it is. So yeah, but
No,
don't FOMO too. Don't FOMO. Wait for a correction. I'd buy some PDI when it corrects. Probably goes to a penny, probably like 1.1 cents and corrects. But we'll see. We'll see what it does. FOMO might set hard, man. I saw somebody they pulled like 250 million pulse out of a validator and just started buying PDI at the top.
wow.
But they
Wow.
bought the top, bro. It's like, no, you did it wrong. Like you were supposed to buy the bottom. But
Well, the interesting thing about PDI, okay, first of all, what we're into right now, again, I'm sure that everything you're telling me, as deep and complex as it is, I'm sure is still just the tip of the iceberg. There's people in this every second of every day getting all the details. And so you guys have more confidence and more assurances. But the interesting thing about PDI is it's hard to say, it's hard not to say that it has one of the strongest narratives of a meme coin on PulseChain because
not a meme coin.
Okay. It is until it isn't.
I feel you.
Okay. In its current state, it is a meme coin because it's not what it is, in my opinion. It's subjective. We can disagree. It doesn't really matter. I'm not here to. So the reason I say it has one of the strongest narratives as a meme coin is because in meme coins, the future potential of what a thing can do is what drives most of that price pumpamental.
That is true.
And people looking at PDI, looking at DAI, it's not even a crazy psychological thought to think $1 is in the potential cards. Mm-hmm. So, and like I've heard this argument, I've been a part of this argument of like, oh, PDI is not backed by anything. Well, like you just talked about being collateralized and everything. Well, where that kind of has flaws is that, sure, you could peg one pulse to one ETH or whatever you were saying and then collateralize. But okay, sure. So the new DAI minted would be collateralized, but the PDI forked over is not. So then in that case, what would happen is the guys who are not collateralized would dump on the collateralized guys and get their collateral. So that's kind of like that's broken. From a technical level, that position is broken.
Not if you have a bunch of collateral. Like, bro, you gotta understand, Richard has 90% of pulse. He could convert 60% into wrap Ethereum and collateralize it with, like, if we do 100x from now, the dude's got like almost $500 billion. So what is it to? There's a video I'm gonna send you. It's called Pegging for Dummies, bro. I watched it, and it's I had to rewatch.
If he let's run down that thought experiment. Mm-hmm. Richard comes in and collateralizes with 60% of his pulse into PDI. Great. He just minted new PDI. He didn't buy PDI off the market. He minted it. So now you have 60% of pulse with collateralized new PDI and all these existing PDI holders with not collateralized PDI who can take Richard's collateral, which they would.
Okay. So I'm not too I'm sure that there's another person in the space that could argue that concept right there. But my argument for that is, okay, dump your PDI, mm-hmm. But so you have the Richard aspect to it, but then you also have the James Osborne, the Atropadev aspect, right? Where it's like they have built now that we're at close to $1, whatever, every single one of their tokens is worth insane amount of prices. So you have to 100 to 200x the price of everything that they have open right now. So at least, right? Like that's the thing too. Like when there's a token called Mantisa, it's paired with USDT copy, right? Okay. So it's been kind of going down versus USDT because the USDT has been pumping because of DAI pumping. But like when it pumps, the dollar value of Mantisa goes up, right? It's almost if there's one token. So it's like 800K for a token right now. Okay. So a Mantisa is any number after a decimal. So there's only one token. It's a mathematical word, whatever.
Sure.
So you can only own a Mantisa of a Mantisa because there's only one token. So no one can actually have one of the whole supply. So
that's cool.
So it's kind of like this math. Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's paired to USDT with like $500,000 of liquidity. So like when USDT goes up, and USDT is paired with like a Tropa with like 15 million or something. So DAI goes up, Atropa goes up, Atropa goes up, USDT goes up, UST goes up. Then you have the Mantisa token to go up. So when USDT drops in price, the Mantisa token will drop in price, but it'll actually go up in value versus the USDT because no one's actually selling Mantisa; they're selling USDT. So then the Mantisa will go up versus the USDT as it goes down. And that's like your ratio, like you can play with that. So I bought USDT, I bought it when it was down, the Mantisa was down 90%, and it started to go up versus USDT. It's still kind of going down versus it, but I think that once we get to that penny and everything crashes or whatever, like that's the psychological number, then all the tokens that are directly paired to the stables, right? Like they go up in not dollar value, but they go up in ratio value. So you can take that and start swapping them and swapping in ratio play and whatever, and multiply your PDI, your USDC, and your USDT bags. And that's kind of why they made their system, is so that you can go in there and have a multiplier on what you're doing. And then there's multipliers on the multipliers. So if you get deeper, which is that iceberg you were talking about, is like, yeah, you can get deeper into it, but for like the scratch surface, it's easy to just go into USDT, buy Mantisa, hold it, wait for it to go up versus USDT, buy back, or sell,
So to circle this back to the PulseChain meme coin community, I was real. No, you're good. No, I'm glad. No, this is perfect for the point that I'm about to make. Absolutely perfect. You're great. Just is in other meme coin communities, it's like, dog fart token. Done. And PulseChain were like liquidity web ratio, single-sided LPV. It's like the PulseChain community meme coin space is like gigabrain, galaxy brain meme coinery. It's so, even everything that happens in PulseChain is like so new and so front of the race, even down to the
meme coins,
dick with butts. It's like high level complex. Okay. So I think that's just something cool to note about our community.
We're smart.
Agreed.
Even the meme coins that like Pulse Pup, right? PLS Pup. It's a meme coin, right? It's paired to everything on chain, like literally everything on chain. There's not one token you can't find the LP to. And it's like, well, what is that? Like, no buyers, everything goes up. It'll go up, it'll go down with the market. But like when people do come in and buy it, it goes up in price. It just, the R bots have to feed off the other, all the other pools. So like, yeah, we've got our meme coins, but yeah, we got our liquidity webs too. And if you can join the two and then add a tax to it, like Mike, bingo. It's a money maker, man.
So, okay, I have another question for you, but let's say what's up. What's up, Sonny? Good to see you. Thanks for the kind words.
What's up, son?
What's up, Fast Abdul? What's up, Top Gun? Good to see you. So, okay. Back to do you still have a little bit of time?
I have hours, man. You got it.
Okay. Back to Atropa. So, just for somebody looking at just dipping their toes in, is Atropa or is Teddy Bear the central, like, what is the central core point of Atropa ecosystem?
It's Teddy Bear, like, so that's your like initial, like you have Pulse, you get into Teddy Bear, you get a Teddy Bear, and then when you look at the liquidities with Teddy Bear, it's like it's smacked into different points on the web. So like Teddy Bear might power this part of the ecosystem and power this part and power that part. So yes, initially it's Teddy Bear, the meme coin, right? To get people into degen, just the meme coin. Even if they don't understand what the web is of Atropa, they see, oh, Teddy Bear's been on top since PulseChain came out, whatever, it's like 36, 37 weeks. So it's been on top the entire time because of it literally feeds so many transactions through it because it's connected to the system where all the R bots trade it. It's not necessarily that the 414 trades everything. It's the R bots trade the entire ecosystem. So all those trades have to come down to that center point of that Pulse. Plus, Pulse by itself has a lot of volume. So that kind of plays in with the Teddy Bear. So you have, and then whales can get into Teddy Bear because there's so much liquidity. And they don't move the price when they buy it. So they kind of like that. If a whale gets into a token, they put in $1 million and they can move it 500%. It's not really that pleasing to them. So, So you have teddy bear as like the initial like meme entry, but also, I mean, you could buy Pulse, buy PDI, buy Atropa, you know, and then Atropa goes into everything as well. So like there's two different ways that you can get into. The 414 dev said like if you're a big investor and you don't want to do all your own research and look into the webs and liquidity and everything, best thing to buy is PDI and Atropa. Like it is what it is, man. I think Atropa does better than PDI because PDI has a floor or a ceiling, like at that dollar, and
Right.
then Tropa. So like I've played it to where I've been riding a Tropa, but there's also like you could ride the stables to $1, and then all the extra money that tries to come into the dollar stable, it starts to wash into a Tropa. So a Tropa will take off. So like if we get to that point where like it stops at $1, and then like you get Richard throw in his die bag or whatever, and then do the collateral, you know, whatever, all the conspiracy theories that we say, and then so all the extra money starts to push that Atropa way further above in collateral. Because if you held a million die all the way until it got to $1, and then you're like, well, now I want to invest. Now I have something that's stable, and it's just a stable coin now. It's like, I want to go into something. It's like, oh, Atropa. So boom. So when you wash into Atropa, that ratio starts to split off, and I mean, even the Atropa dev said that we probably go to like $10 to $40. Not financial advice, but if Atropa or if PDI gets to $1, then we should be up there.
Well, I will say this, Tropa is at an all-time high. So,
Nice.
and it's pumping pretty hard right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, looks like the Atropa community is doing pretty darn good.
And it's crazy because it's not even like they're there, but they're not that active. Like as far as like you would think they'd be in the chat like blowing it up all day. They're really not. But it's okay because like I say, it's just Hart's law. Like, you don't really need these. Like a whale steps in, cool, yeah, price goes up. But like, you know, the PulseChain isn't moving either. So if PulseChain was moving while this was happening, it would be insane. It'd be the prices. It'd be crazy.
No, I hear you because they're not Atropa's not quite at an all-time high for its wrap pulse price. It's close, but its US dollar value is at an all-time high by at an all-time high period. So yeah, let me see.
And that's probably because like Pulse isn't moving right, but like that's probably because it's paired to Teddy. It's paired to, you know, Whale probably just stepped into Teddy. Teddy went up, so Atropa had to go up as well. So that's probably where you see that, you know, that price or something like that. You know, one of their tokens went up.
Yeah, and to your point, Teddy does have about 1 million in liquidity, which I mean, I don't want on other chains, you know, 1 million liquidity may not be incredible, but on PulseChain, 1 million in liquidity is a decent sized pool. It's amongst the top 10% of pools. So, you
And
know,
market cap. Like I know market cap is just a metric, like a BS metric, but what's Pepe on Ethereum doing? It's like 2 billion market cap. You know, like we're pretty far from that. So yeah, what is that?
Yeah, 2.7 bill.
Almost 3 billion. You know what I mean? Like we get to that point, bro. And the entire ecosystem is huge. Like every market cap would be insane.
Like, let's see what Rat Pulse is. So Rat Pulse's main pair, which is DAI, is 44 mil. So, you know, I like to use this as a metric as kind of like what's the biggest top pools, you know? So that's, let's see,
like
Pulse.
2%. Yeah.
Or, yeah, about, yep, exactly.
Just in that pool, right? Like there's all the other pools and whatnot. So, yeah.
Sure, but that is a good example of what the thickest pool on PulseChain is.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
if you're comparing it, whereas on like Binance Smart Chain, for example, you can get meme coins, a random irrelevant meme coin that has 20 million in liquidity, just simply by nature of the chain being bigger and there being more money on chain.
And the
So
volume. So like I've been trying to explain that I was on a voice chat with a whale. Like, what is that?
that can't be right.
That can't be right, man.
That can't be
Oh,
right.
that's the 5 minute. That's the 5 minute.
Oh, got you. Okay, there. All right. That can't be right.
Dude, I was about to give up. Oh god. All right. So $5 million, right? So when you look at that, like Mike had $1 million on his third day. Pulse is getting 5 million on a regular day. If Pulse gets 50 million on a regular day, then everything else on chain gets 10x more volume. So it's a different we're just pre-Solana. That's all it is, bro. We're
Mm.
just pre-Solana with a founder that cares about the chain. Yeah.
I do hear what you're saying, but that's what I try to tell people all the time about, because something I get asked all the time is, what is the value proposition of PulseChain? And it really is a hard question to answer because, like you said earlier in the stream, PulseChain did not solve the Ethereum gas problem.
Mm-hmm.
It solved it, or no, it that
reground.
yeah, like it gives us that parallel highway, I guess, to get cheaper transactions. But the moment this highway gets congested too, you're gonna be paying more, and it's evident. Like when gas is still spiking up, like even in pre-price days when people were, if anybody was around for
Oh, yeah.
ratio trading days, it was like 1 million, 2 million pulse to do a swap.
We were spending it, boy.
And we were spending it. And so if Pulse is SAC price, that's 100, $200 to do a swap. That's Ethereum prices right there. So Pulse chain. So when people talk about, oh, cheaper gas fees is the value prop, I actually think that's a weak value prop. The value prop is the community. That is the strongest value prop right there. It's the intelligence, it's the developer power, it's the marketing power. And by marketing, I don't mean Richard, I mean the people in it. It's the the unique understanding about DeFi and how this stuff works, even down to the meme coins. We are doing innovative DeFi here. And that, I think, is the value prop, is tell your builder friends, come to PulseChain. They will have a community of people who you can actually speak your product to, whether it's the highest level meme coin or the deepest in the weeds, high tech DeFi protocol. It has a place on PulseChain. And so that is what I spin as the value prop.
I mean, it's really not hard for somebody to come into this community and be like, hey, I built this. You guys are going to probably like it. But there comes with a lot of like, you're a scammer. We don't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, all right. So, like, for a lot of people, like, we can't trust anybody that just comes in and says, I built this. That's
right.
They have to be, and that's what we're learning with the meme coin. Like, we can kind of roll into the meme coin community. Like, unless you're doxxed and you launch a meme coin on PulseChain, like, it's tough, bro. Unless you're a doxed figure, it's really tough. Like, you could make a meme. I mean, you already have a meme coin, right? I am, but like, you just made a random meme coin today, right? It would probably go crazy. It'd be like, oh, KG just launched a meme coin, like Sunny. Sunny launched a meme coin because he was like, man, I can do that. You know what I mean? So you have that, like, where Spooky launched Diggle, but you know what I mean? Because he's a figure. I know.
It is just, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like, he's a figure, so he was able to like, hey, I built this, so we have a trust into it. It's not like some random anon dev where we don't know if they're gonna yank liquidity, sell on us, or whatever. Even if they burn liquidity half the time, they still have a big bag, or they have a whole bunch of insiders that have big bags and they dump it on everybody. So the meme coin space on PulseChain is tough because everything, like, so on BSC or like Solana, shit rugs. Of course, shit rugs. It's just part of being in the game. You're in a casino, you're gambling. But with PulseChain is like, so we went to other chains. We went to Solana and we started trading, me and my buddies. And everything would crash like 60, 70%. And then it would go up afterwards. People would actually buy it off of that bottom of the initial dip. PulseChain, it's hard. You see that happen. You see a random meme coin. Someone can make a nice website. They can make a nice Telegram. They can do everything. The graphics super cool. It doesn't matter, bro. No. So I think that we're just too early with the meme coin space in PulseChain, because you have Pulse is saturate. Everyone feels poor. Like, if we were 10x above, you'd see a lot more gambling on meme coins. But for now, everyone's really selfish with their bag because they're like, Richard's gonna pump me to Valhalla. Like, I need to hold on to my Pulse. But like, they don't understand that, like, if Pulse pumps, everything in our chain will rise. You see it on the days when Pulse rips like 20, 30%, the entire chain rips 20, 30%. So understand that even if we're going down versus Pulse, we're still up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're missing out on all the gains or whatever. But so I get it, though. People they're holding their Pulse to then gamble later in the cycle on the meme coins, which is smart. But it's also like, if you guys can power up your Pulse bags now, like, say you gambled on meme coin, you caught a 10x, and you were able to rotate back into Pulse at still this cheap level, then when we go up, you have 10x more Pulse than you would have had prior. So it's it's like this. I get it, but I don't get it. Like you guys, the whales need to be gambling on meme coins because it helps our ecosystem. Because you take shrimps and you turn them into sharks, and those sharks are able to buy more pulse. And then that pulse starts to, you know what I mean? And you have bigger players in the ecosystem. Like if I'm a shrimp and I turn into a shark because of a meme coin, guess what? I'm going to go gamble my shark money now on other things that then could turn other people from shrimp to shark because I lost or I won. You know what I mean? So there's like that. You guys need to stop being scary, basically. But it's hard because if you're not docs, you're not a docs dev or a docs founder or whatever, no one wants to buy your product. They're afraid that you're gonna scam because Richard's preached scam, scam, scam. Do your own research, blah blah blah. Which is good. It's good. It's good preaching, but it's tough for like just a non-dev that's just trying to have fun. You know, they can burn liquidity, everything that I would buy. Like if I saw someone burn liquidity and they don't have a lot of supply and they did a little fair launch or whatever, I'd buy it. But then like no one else buys it. It's like it's kind of on PulseChain. So at this point in our cycle, meme coins are really hard to take off. You saw Dig with Butt. It had everybody preaching at the top, by the way. All the influencers were screaming at the top. But you had all those influencers and it still didn't go 20, 30 million market cap. Why? Because PulseChain is not there yet. We're just not there in the meme coin space yet. We actually have to rise PulseChain first and push the whales up.
That's a valid perspective. I hear a lot of logic and validity in that because because what the native coin for any chain represents, whether it's Pulse or ETH or BNB or Matic or Sol or whatever, that, in my opinion, represents the overall health of the ecosystem.
Yep.
If the native coin itself isn't doing great, then that's just representative that the whole ecosystem kind of isn't doing great. Now, of course, you have pockets, right, where this coin pumps or that coin pumps or this little ecosystem is pumping. Of course, that still happens.
For sure.
But like you said, when there was a couple days there where I literally couldn't turn on YouTube, Twitter, or Telegram without seeing Dick with Butt.
Yeah.
That was all I was seeing.
And if you would have bought, you would have bought the top.
Wait, say again?
If you would have bought, you would have bought the top. There's so many that's another thing with the PulseChain, like meme coin space. Like if you're on Twitter thinking that you're catching alpha, you're not. I mean, even Sami will tell you, like, you have like the little tiny insider groups, then you got the Telegram groups, then you got the Twitter, then you got the YouTube. Like it's a shit funnel. Like if you are on YouTube or on Twitter thinking you're gonna find an early play, you're mistaken. It's all of the Telegram groups. Every coin on our chain, and I'm sure in all of crypto, has a Telegram group that's secretive, 3, 4, 5 guys that will pump that token or they'll dump it. Like it's a no-brainer. Like you should know that. And I didn't really think about it when I was, degenning by myself until I got a group of friends. Like we degen together, like, oh, we're going to buy this token. So now you got 4 other people, they're going to buy the token with you. Like, so when you look at it on a little bigger scale or like with somebody's token that they made, like a lot of that buy pressure could have just been their whales. And then as soon as more people come in, they just dump, whatever. But that's the meme coin space. Is what it is.
And real quick, there's a first of all, one sec. Gifford, good to see you. And actually, you got a nice comment here, buddy. Special shout out to Almighty for helping me out big when I was a bit depressed and felt underexposed. He slapped me with some logic. I'm the happiest clam on the beach.
Yeah. He was saying like he was like, man, I feel like I don't have, because you're around people with big bags or just with bags in general. You want to be with them, right? Like, so he was kind of being like, I don't have enough. I don't think I have enough. I'm not with you guys. I'm not on yours level. But I'm like, bro, look around in the room that you're in. If you're at a doctor's office, look around. You think anybody in that room, first of all, knows what crypto is, right? Then second of all, knows what PulseChain is. Then third of all, like we were talking about Atropa specifically. I was like, do you think that someone that knows about crypto, then they have to know about PulseChain, then they have to know about Atropa, then they have to know about like certain tokens in the Atropa ecosystem? You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, you're probably 0.001% of the people on the earth. Like, you gotta think about it like that. If I'm around a whole bunch of big, strong guys at the gym, yeah, I'm going to feel small. But if I'm around a bunch of small guys, I'm going to feel big. You want to be around the big guys so that you feel small, so that you have motivation to get back up. I think that's the whole point, man.
Amen, bro. If a good way to look at that, a good analogy is if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yep.
And so you can apply that to if you're the richest guy in the room, if you're the strongest guy in the room, if you're the XYZ guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. Always be punching up above of your weight class, because that's how you get brought up.
And
Well
he's
said.
that specific person, Chameleon, he's actually been doing so much better. He's caught so many 10x plus plays being in the campfire, my little like DGen chat. He's elevated his game. Like he went from being I don't have enough to and now I actually have some. Oh, and it pumped too. So he's doing well on the dollar amount. So I'm proud of him, bro. He's good people. He's actually very active in the Monsters Inc. eco too. He runs a live stream like so every Friday night. Tonight we will be so first night we watched Monsters Inc. Second one was Monsters University, and then ever since then we're gonna start watching. So there's Monsters at Work. It's a TV show where they're actually at work and in the Monsters Inc. facility after.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so we watch like 2 episodes every Friday for that because they're 30 minutes, and then we give out ink and mic every night to people who are actually in there and watching it. So it's cool, actually something to do, and it's not a lot of overhead because the mic dev wallet earns ink, so I'm able like just to pay people. It's cool.
That's cool, man. And that's on Crypto Chameleon's channel.
Oh no, it's in the Monsters Inc. Channel on Telegram.
Gotcha.
Every Friday in our Telegram, in the Monsters Inc. Telegram, we stream that. But he does it because he's the tech guy. He's the smart dude.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, and if you're interested in joining the Telegram, I have the link to the website in the description, so you can get there. Okay, another question about PulseChain meme coins is, it seems like, okay, so you have PulseChain meme coins, and then within that you have different pockets, and the pockets I've identified is you have the Atropa ecosystem, you have the Tangang, you have the 9-inch guys, and I would say those are probably the big 3. I'd say B Roots is like maybe number 1 meme coiner guy. Bro. And he plays more in Atropa. That's really where he's at. And then you have these, militias that like or don't really ascribe to those, but those would be the big 3. Am I accurate?
So yeah, so I wouldn't say that B Roots matters in the meme coin eco at all. I think that he made Teddy Bear call and he made a PDOT call based on people already putting in the legwork. So you got people like Sunny the Tech, Freedom 777, Pulse Pup, like Ben P. I don't know his last name, but like these dudes were buying PDOT very early, and they were shilling very early. All he did was saw them shill and buy. So like I had somebody comment like, "Oh, he's the one that led the PDOT movement." No. There was a group of dudes that blockchain devs that found out who the Atropa dev was mad early, like super early. So like he's just a hype guy. He has a following. So yes, he's good for PulseChain pumping, but like go elsewhere and pump PulseChain. But in our ecosystem, no one actually cares about what B-Roots thinks. I'm the prince of the DGens on PulseChain, bro. Like I'm in every single DGen chat, bro. When I listen to what all they say, they don't care about what B-Roots says. When he FUDs a project, you'll see a clip down, and then you'll see people not care about it. Because at the end of the day, we're like, bro, there's one guy. Because one guy didn't get in, we're gonna say that the project's not good or we shouldn't buy it. So like he has this power that we're starting to take away from him, because he can say something like, I don't want to buy that, or but he's called out so many rugs recently, or like projects that have down 95% from his calls, like direct calls down 95%. So he dumped on everybody. So we're slowly not starting to not respect him at all. But kudos to him. Like he's cool. Thank you for pumping PulseChain, but stay out of the meme coin space, because we don't need an entity to sit there and tell us what's good and what's not. We just need DGens in a group to go buy. And that's all that matters. But so I'm in all these DGen chats, and I see like what goes on and who's talking about what and what. And yes, anytime there's a new token, everyone apes it, everyone dumps it. And then there's the new tokens that actually stick. So like there's certain ones that do stick, and people are like, all right, well, I can keep following this because it makes sense. But you are right on the Tangang. We have the Tangang aspect of where they created HOA and Diggle, but that's all that they really have. They have nothing. Like they produce a bunch of tokens, but it's just a bunch of garbage. Like it's just a bunch of tokens. Like there's nothing that anyone has a good, strong narrative too. And I'm not trying to shit on anybody's bags, but I'm just telling you how it is. And like how the ecosystem kind of takes these things in. The 9-inch guys, they create a couple of good solid tokens, but ultimately they can't keep pumping out tokens because no one really likes that, because they want to know that you created a token and that you're going to nurture this thing and you're going to pump it till we get to the bull market. Like if you create 18, 20 different tokens, it's difficult to think that person's going to maintain them. So even with me, with like my mic token, so like if I shill another bag, I get yelled at or whatever. But like creating my ecosystem, because I prior told people like I'm gonna do this ecosystem, I'm gonna create more tokens on top of this, and it's gonna flood volume through them as I create them. No one cares. But like if I wouldn't have told anybody, like with the Tang gang, they didn't tell anybody they were gonna keep pumping out tokens. No one knew that. Same thing with 9-inch, but I like the 9-inch guys because they create them kind of like for a community. Like they're not creating them for the 9-inch guys only. Like they're kind of like, here's PulseChain's meme coin. Like we're pumping out meme coins for Pulse. So, and they have a coin hub Telegram. Like they have it set up to where like, yes, we're degening. This is our DJing group. Like this is what's gonna, like the meme coin factory basically. And then you said B-Roots. So B-Roots, yeah, he just rides a tropa wave. But he doesn't actually understand the deep web. He doesn't understand like the MakerDAO vaults and what a tropa dev is really doing behind the scenes. He just is like, oh, Pete, I do that. He sees like you see it, like a meme. It's just a meme. So that's how he is in the ecosystem. I think that you have a bunch of underground groups that you don't know about, like, and no one's gonna know about, that pump the random tokens. Like if you don't see the Tang gang or the 9-inch crew talk about them, or say that they made them, it's those little kind of like dark groups. But those dark groups don't have to be bad. They're actually, some of them are good. Like I know one group that they create some good tokens, man. It's just they don't go anywhere. Like they'll pump them themselves. They won't Jeet at all. And the people that buy the tops Jeet, you can see it on the chart where they buy
what does that mean? What do you mean by that? Well, what is they don't Jeet? What is Jeeting?
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, it's cool. It's educate me.
It's like selling
Okay.
For a loss, basically.
Okay.
Like you'll see these bigger guys, like the early guys, they'll buy out the charts. Then you'll see someone buy on top of them for $100, and then they'll sell after, like, say the market moved it down a little bit, like the R bots kind of sold the chart down a little bit. They'll sell it like a $30 loss. And then we're sitting here like,
wait, they sold at a loss? Interesting.
Bro, what? Interesting. That's literally everybody. Like, what?
Okay.
It's so garbage. You're like, what are we doing on PulseChain? Like, it's cheap fees. It launched an hour ago, and you're already selling for $30 loss. I was like, what are we doing, man? So that's the meme coin industry right now. And I think that, I don't know what sparked, like Dick with Butt almost sparked it off. Well, Mike sparked it off. I would say that. So we created Mike, and then like 3 weeks later, two weeks later, not 3 weeks, Dick with Butt came out. And then sadly, you had other kind of influencers trying to launch more coin. Like they saw like the waves, they thought, and they started to launch it, and they were trying to catch that wave. And so if you're going to launch a meme coin as an influencer, I 100% think that every influencer should launch a meme coin. I think that that's just fun, right? Like, but make it a meme coin. Don't make it a token of yourself. Like, no offense to Axis. I think Axis, I know what he's doing. He's just trying to break that market cap narrative. But like, if you're gonna make a meme coin, make a meme coin, like, and then launch it correctly and make a website and make it, put in all the effort that you would, so that PulseChain can have tokens that go up and people can have an investment that can go up. Don't just make things because you're bored and in 5 minutes you can do it. Put effort into it. Like I put effort into Mike, a lot of effort into Mike. So I expect, and I'm 23, I expect these grown men this is my first cycle. So I expect grown men that have been in other cycles to be doing better than I am, not worse. So yeah, that's what I got to say about the meme coin space.
Okay. And thanks for the insight. Mm-hmm. And I see here, Ramon, the no permissions. Okay. This is actually another interesting concept, because we just had the SolidX token launch. Yeah. And we have, I guess like that would be a product, I guess. And hey, no permissions. If it's not a product of your group, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say anything pro or con. I'm just saying how the information came to me as a viewer. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. So would you consider the no permissions group another fourth player in the meme coin space, or what do you think there?
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't actually know too much about that group, so like I couldn't
Okay.
sit there and tell you. But I mean, I'm sure I don't know how big the group is, but like you have Randy's Patreon group, so I don't know if that's the what he's talking about.
I think so,
But yeah,
yes.
but I mean, yeah, that's that group. So like that whole group got early on Solid X. But and not shitting on Solid X, I think it's super cool that you guys painted a chart. That's what we need. We literally need these whales to paint charts because no one's coming to PulseChain because Pulse is sack rate. Like, oh, it's opportunity of a lifetime. Pulse is at sack rate a year later. Like, no one's coming for that. They're coming for, oh, what's this token? Da, 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 da. But like, I will say the only criticism I say on Solid X, cool, but it's not a good meme name. Like it's just like Solid X. Like it's not to where if I'm on Binance and I see it, I'm not like, whoa, that's a funny name or that's a good ticker. I'm like, what is that? Like, is that a protocol? I don't know. Oh, it's just a meme coin. I wouldn't have known because it doesn't have any meme coin name. So I
Hmm.
would say like, if you're a whale and you want to make these tokens, make them funny. Like just a dick token. I don't know. Like it's just make crypto funny. Like 420 is coming up, man. If we don't have a 420, I might make one, bro. If we don't have a 420 meme coin on PulseChain, I'd be very disappointed. I will say
Okay,
that.
I got you.
Make it, baby.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna make it.
Oh man.
No, no. I'm focused on time. I'm focused on internet money. That's you play on the DWB, but it's dick with blunt.
Dick with blunt. Oh my
Okay,
god.
I'm not a great meme coiner. This is the first thing that came to me. You said 420.
You're gonna dick with blunt.
All right, all right. See, that's why I don't make meme coins. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Stick with him, bro.
All right. Yeah. All right. We're done. We're done. All right. Shoot and a miss followed by a slap in the face. Okay. So okay. Trying to process all this. So now let's circle back because we're coming up on 2 hours here.
Mhm.
So let's with Sully coming out. You said you're launching it next week.
Yeah. Next Saturday, hopefully.
Next Saturday. Okay, so that took care of the ink rewards and the pulse rewards. So now I'm assuming because you know we said PulseX rewards, that was something that you wanted on this thumbnail. We can safely assume that there's going to be a third, obviously,
For sure.
dedicated to PulseX.
For sure. There'll be so start off with the ink because ink was the strong narrative at the time. We caught that early. So gonna do Pulse. Pulse is like you can't really catch that narrative early. I'm hoping to catch this court date on the 11th, and then launch like right afterwards. So we kind of catch that hype of wave up. But if we get bad news, then it could be down, and we could just not launch at all. So it's really dependent on what happens with Richard. Because we can do that. Like Richard couldn't say, I'm going to wait for Pulse to launch for ETH to go up. You know what I mean? But I can say, and I'm waiting on Pulse to go. So time in the market. And with something like this, like time in the market isn't necessarily better. Like you want a good rocket launch. So you get a lot of fees paid out initially. So people are attracted and there's good screenshots and it just is what it is. And that's how you kind of attract people. You get that woo-ah in the first couple of days. And then when it corrects, is it still a token that should be messed with? Like, should we still continue with it? And being the second addition to the ecosystem, it'll get plugged into Mic and it'll power Mic with volume. And then the same thing with the third token. So the third token, it'll be Boo. Like I'll say the ticker for that. I haven't said the Pulse ticker yet, but I'll say that the third ticker is Boo. It's the little girl in the movie. It's the little purple monster with the little eyeballs and stuff. There's a lot of good memes with her where she's just like faded on the couch and it's like I'm high as fuck. So it's like like we'll have fun. We'll have fun with her, bro. It'll be kind of funny. So we'll have that. That'll be the PulseX reward. Same thing, 2%, 2%. And then that'll get plugged into Mic and Sully. So like it'll have this triple arbitrage that you can buy token A for token B or token B for token C or C for A and da, 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 da. And then the whales in the ecosystem are able to, instead of extracting money out of the token, they're able to wash it back in. So like you can sell your Mic before Sully launches if you think that that's what you should do. But as soon as you do that, if Sully goes up 10x, there's whales that'll be in Sully that'll want to wash back over into Mic. So like And also there'll be an airdrop. So I'm gonna airdrop the mic holders a little bit of Sully, not crazy amount either. Like, because I understand that. So if I give somebody $1 off rip and we do 100x, everyone has $1. So I'm going to airdrop a certain dollar amount to the top 1,000 mic holders after launch, like after 48 hours after Sully launches, because I want to do those X's and then I want to give people money, but I don't want to give people money to do the X's and then get cheated on. It doesn't work. It never works. So like look at every sacrifice project. You want buy pressure. You don't want only sell pressure. So I'm gonna let people run the price up where they don't have any supply. And then basically I'll give like $20, maybe $50 to everybody, the top 1,000 mic holders, excluding LPs. So it's like a $50,000, $20,000 airdrop, depending on, what I'm at. So I'm giving away a significant amount of money. And then it's poof money, like it's not real, but to you guys, it's real. Like if you get $20 in your wallet and you're able to earn Pulse off of that forever, you're winning. So I'm getting people two things. You're getting the Sully token and you're going to earn Pulse. And then that's kind of like your foot in the door for that ecosystem. So you'll have an airdrop. The Sully token will launch most likely next Saturday, Eastern time afternoon. I would say like 4 p.m. to like 8 p.m. is like the time range, but it could change. Just be in the chat on the Telegram chat to know. I'll also be very heavy on my Twitter when I can like confirm with everybody. So anyways, so that's the launch schedule. And then like the PulseX launch, I'm kind of waiting on PulseX to get single-sided staking. So like I'm hoping that, we get that in like the next couple months. So we can have like the Sully run for a month or whatever, and then maybe a month and a half, 2 months, and then launch the PulseX one. And then I haven't talked about this, but I do plan on doing a PDI one, because I consider PDI being Richard's stablecoin. Like he always said, I'm going to make a stablecoin. And he's never came out with a stablecoin, but we have PDI. So I assume that that's his. So that'll be one. So, like the CDA agents, like it's called Child Detection Agency in the movie. Yeah, we're going to call it the Calculated Decentralized Accounting. That's what I'm going to name because it makes sense, right? It's the dollar token. So it's calculated decentralized accounting.
Sure.
So there's that. So you have the PDI one. And then when Hex recovers, right, I want to make a Hex one. So, George Sanderson in the movie, he's orange and yellow, and he's always got the sock on him and stuff, and they shave him down. And so I was thinking about that maybe being the Hex one because he's funny. And he's like the orangish color, orange yellow. So it makes sense. And you said if there wasn't a Randall token, I haven't figured. He's one of the main characters, so you got to do him, right? But like I haven't figured out what token he would be yet. So
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but because I kind of want to correlate him a little bit. Like Boo, I know doesn't correlate to PulseX, but what Boo in my head correlates to is Spooky Swap. So Spooky Swap is basically PulseX, and their ticker is Boo. So like if you have a token called Boo and it earns PulseX, it's kind of like the Spooky Swap narrative. And Boo is a gas ticker, BOO. It's just good. So, so yeah, you have that, and then at the very end of everything, well, this could pop in between the last two, but I want to create a DeFi yield token, basically an incentive token for our ecosystem. It'll be called Scream. So in the movie, you earn Scream, like when you go get the Scream in the canisters and stuff. So you'll earn Scream by staking your reward assets. The reward assets will funnel into a wallet that will then be able to add liquidity. So if you have the Pulse, PulseX, Inc., PDI, and Hex tokens all staked, I think I'll do it to where you get a bonus if you stake them all, like all 5. Like if you own them all and stake them all, you'll get like an extra bonus on your yield. But when you do so say you only did 3 of them or whatever, that means the Pulse, and PulseX ones, then all those rewards go to a certain wallet. I'm either going to do it to where it goes to a wallet, or I'll do it completely DeFi to where it goes to a contract that just funnels it back into LP, which will probably be because everyone likes decentralization. So I'll probably do it that way. So where like all the rewards that are earned go into liquidity adding for the Scream token. So you can stake, earn Scream, and then the money that you would have earned liquid goes into the protocol to then fuel the liquidity on the Scream. Because the always the problem that I notice on the farms is it's the yield token, it gets minted to shit and dies. So if you are able to, so there's another aspect to that of the whales being able to absorb the inflation and then be benevolent with it. So the bigger whales in ecosystem, right, they're going to stake, they're going to earn Scream, and they're going to pair it to all the tokens thick, like very thick. So there'll be 5 different tokens, right? Initially 3. So we'll have 3, and then we'll launch the yield farm. So then they'll be able to pair Scream to it real thick off rip. They'll absorb the initial inflation, pair it to it, so it'll be like an incentive token. And then there'll be a buy and a sell tax on it. So there'll be a 5% buy, 5% sell. So if somebody wants to degen and buy it, cool. But like if you earn the token and you dump it, so the 5% it'll be divided between the tokens of a buy and burn. So like if there's 3 tokens, it'll be 33% buys and burns Mike, 33% buys and burns Boo, 33% buys and burns the PulseX reward token, whatever, or the Pulse reward token. So like if anybody yields, like they're giving up their RH yield and their reward tokens, they're getting Scream. So the Scream obviously has to be better than their original rewards. So it's going to be a high inflation. But then when they dump the reward token, they're actually benefiting the system by burning the tokens out of supply. So like the less of the reward tokens in supply, the more rewards for everyone else. So that's was my thinking on like, you create a system where you can lock up your funds and you might earn more yield than you would have holding them. And then if you dump that for more of the tokens or whatever into Pulse or whatever, because there'll be a Pulse, PulseX, and Ink pool real thick. And then there'll be a Mike, Boo, Pulse reward token real thick. So it'll have these 6 LP pools that are really heavy. And then Hart's Law, when it starts to move, and it has to move that 5%. So it basically has to profit like a little, like 11%, say, because it's the buy and the sell for the ARB on the Scream token. So if the market moves it based on the other tokens moving, then it'll actually buy and burn the ecosystem's tokens without anything actually happening, or like without anybody buying. But because it's a yield token, you'll have consistent dump pressure. But same thing with Ink, that dump pressure goes into the tokens that have really thick liquidity. So it's the dog moves the tail, not the tail moves the dog. So you're not going to move the Mike price or whatever. But if a Mike whale wanted to wash into, Scream or whatever, you can move the price of Scream crazy, like super hard. And then the APRs get super high. So then it incentivizes people to lock up their tokens, earn the yield, and blah, 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 blah. And then keep washing that same. And so eventually we get 10 years down the line and the buy and burn isn't going insane. There's way less supply on all the tokens. I think of it long-term longevity side. Yeah, and then people will degen buy Scream because it's a good ticker too, and it could run up hard, and the whales could play with it. There's a whole bunch of things, and then as you add the tokens, you can add those staking pools up. Like if we add the PDI one and then the Hex one, you can add those in there, and then it just creates more opportunity for people, I think. So that's like my roadmap. I don't have that like out anywhere. It's kind of the first time I've said it in front of somebody. I've said it on Telegram a little bit, but kind of just me being just brainstorming and whatnot. But I think that's definitely the goal for what I have going. So after the PulseX reward token, I'll be fully trying to create the farming dApp for it. And then after that, just drop. And then the last thing, right? The last thing that I want to give as a present, probably the end of the bull, will be a 404. It's gonna be called 2319. So in the movie, 2319 is the code. Like whenever he gets the sock on his body, and they're like 2319, 2319, and they all tackle him and stuff. So 2319, I learned recently, means WS, white sock. It's literally a code for white sock. I was like, what? I had no idea.
Wow.
You said white sock in the text earlier, and I was like, lol, that's hilarious. So so I'm gonna airdrop the users. I'm not sure if like they have to hold off 5 or whatever. We'll figure that out in the bull. But airdrop them a 404 that is only sufficient enough for the holders. So if there's 1,000 holders, there's only going to be 1,000 supply. And we'll airdrop 1 to everybody, and it'll be like Unisocks. You remember Unisocks last cycle? It was
sounds familiar. Sounds
pair
familiar.
Of socks that you could buy. They're like 35 grand right now, and they're Uniswap socks.
Oh,
it was just an NFT, but you could
okay. Yes.
So a pair of Unisocks is 35K, and they're like cotton high, like knees, like they're disgusting. I don't know who would ever buy them in their life, but there's people that did. So not necessarily saying that we'd have like a real socks to send to users.
That would kind of be funny, dude. The sock from the movie.
Socks right now, like 1,000 hanging socks. But so that's the goal. Like I want to airdrop that to people, and then it's 2319 is the ticker, and then it's white sock. So you'd get an NFC, a 404 of a white sock. It's just be a white sock, nothing cool. And then the airdroppers would be hopefully they'd pair it to their mic, to their the Sully token, the Boo, the whatever. Like hopefully they do that. The whales will do it. So like it'll give people a way to dump their free money. But if they want to value that, then they could, if they made 50 grand off Mike and they were able to wash it into this 404 to pump the price just for shits and giggles, I mean, that's be cool. But yeah, so that's like my roadmap for like the ecosystem of like what I want to create for PulseChain. And it is for PulseChain because ultimately the tokens are buying RH tokens out of the supply of where they're at and giving them to holders. No matter what, the math will do it forever. And for me being 23, like in 10 years, I'll be 33. And that's like a strong number, as you know, like in numerology. So like I always said, like at 10 years, I think this ecosystem is ripping insane. And for it to be like based off of Monsters Inc., a kid's Pixar movie, it's just funny. It's just funny.
It's sticky. Monsters Inc. is very sticky, man.
And Inc. powers the whole system. That's why it's called Monsters Inc. Inc. is the power to what we have going on. Like because it's infinitely fucking printed. Well, not infinitely. It'll start to drop in inflation and stuff like that. But because of what it is, and because the farmers are the only people that can produce it, I try to get the farmers. I'm like, hey, ink whales, hello. Like when you get your ink, dump it into a meme coin. Like that's how I've been trying to like market this. Is like you have ink, yeah, you can go like degen it or whatever. To like you could sell it into Pulse and go degen, but like or you could just directly trade it into a meme coin and support something that will pay you more of a token. So I don't know. I've got a couple. I got like two good whales that like recently I found, and I was like, okay, cool. Like they're like, I like what you're doing because you're the third avenue of ink, like to be able to get ink. There is no other way. I'm like, it's cool. It's cool that people see it that way.
Well, congratulations on finding some whales. And you said you didn't have this roadmap typed out anywhere. Clip that, share that. There is your roadmap. And on that, I think that's a really good place to stop. So I appreciate you articulating your entire plan. Oh, one quick question I did have is if they're holding Mike and in the future the other tokens, is there a claim or do the rewards automatically show up in the wallet?
Yeah, that's the part of the math where it's just they trickle in. It doesn't need because it's just transactions. So when you buy, there's a percentage of your buy that has to go and buy. And that's where like the transactions run crazy because you buy out of the pool, a little bit has to go buy the other token, the token earned out of the pool, and then deliver it to all the users evenly. So you have transaction and then 1,000 transactions that go to all the mic holders. So like that's where you get the transactions run up on PulseChain. Like PulseChain is going to be the most liquid and the most transaction chain on crypto, 100%.
Makes total sense. So
I'll clip that in like a couple years. It'll be like,
oh my god, Nostradamus.
Oh gee.
Okay,
I appreciate it though.
Yeah, man. And hey, also too, thanks for speaking and giving us general meme coin education. I've taken a lot of insight, got a lot to think about. And I'm sure this could be a 6-hour stream and we still wouldn't get it all. So
24-hour stream, baby.
I definitely want to have you on again, maybe in a couple months after some things have developed, see how much of this is still relevant, how much of it has come true, how much of it is still true, all those things. And yeah, man, in the meantime, if you want to get in touch with Almighty, all of his links are down in the description. I'm going to stay on for just one moment after I take you down, but is there any final words, anything you want to say?
We're not there yet, y'all boys. We're gonna get there. It's been a year almost, and it's tough. But Richard told you guys 52 weeks to shake out the losers who don't believe. So if there's a lot of people that don't believe, and just get out now, man. It's not for you. This is obviously not for you. This is something for the longevity of humans. It's not about can I get rich in a year. It's about being saved. It's about transacting. Front running the world. We front ran the world, bro. Like we're on PulseChain. We're able to transact privately. That's slowly collapsing right now. Go on Cash App and Venmo and stuff like that. It's not there anymore. You get taxed off everything. You could send your girlfriend $100 and the IRS knows and they want to tax you for it. Like we're on something that you have to see the longevity of. And every coin on chain right now, you have to also see the longevity of it. You could get 100x in a weekend, but you could also just wait till Pulse goes to a penny and you'll probably have that same 100x in all the other tokens plus some. So it's about looking at the longevity of everything that you're in as the founder. The community is everything there that you would want to be there? And if it is, hold your bags and wait, because we're early. We're a year in, but we're early. So yeah, but I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a pleasure.
Hey, great words. Likewise. We'll talk very soon.
Yes, sir, man.
All right, everybody. That was an action-packed stream. We got deep into some different meme coins, and not just meme coins in general, the whole meme coin ecosystem. We got into psychology of meme coins. We got into sub-meme coin cultures within the meme coin space, within PulseChain. We are in such deep rabbit hole avenues in the crypto space. If you're here right now, you are in the jungle. Welcome. And to reiterate, nothing said in this stream was financial advice or tax advice. Always do your own research. Be careful when it comes to interacting with meme coins and these risky plays. They could do really well. They could do really awful. One rule that I live by as my own individual in the crypto space is I never invest and I never deploy capital that I can't afford to lose. If I am playing that way, if I lose it all, it never really hurts. Now, I don't want to lose money. Sucks to lose money, but I'm still eating. I'm still paying my rent. My family's still taken care of. I'm still taken care of. So when I approach investments that way, I can never really lose. And that's not advice to you. That is advice that I take for myself every day. So if you're someone new to PulseChain, welcome. If you want to learn more about PulseChain, subscribe to the channel here, Internet Money. Go to our website, internetmoney.io. We are the best place to swap your tokens on PulseChain on Android, iOS, and Chrome. We aggregate to more liquidity sources than any other swap on PulseChain. If that went over your head or that is irrelevant to you, what I just said, that's fine. You get great swaps in the Internet Money wallet on PulseChain, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon. All the links are in the description below. And we're going to end the stream like we always do with the Internet Money Anthem made by our friend Base God. And until next time, I am KG, founder of InternetMoney.io. Peace.
What is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is more than just money. Cryptocurrency is a lifestyle, a philosophy, an ecosystem, the means by which human beings to attain financial freedom, not just in the sense of multiplying their investment, but giving humans the ability to interact with money in any way that they see fit. And if that way doesn't already exist, that's the beauty of crypto, is you can create it. And that's what we've done here. Internet money is the future. Internet money is the future. What is internet money, you ask? Well, it's just that.